Former US President Donald Trump's legal battles continue. On Wednesday, Trump was called in to the New York Attorney General's office in Manhattan. He was questioned about his family's business practices. He, however, refused to answer. New York state officials accused the Trump organization of misleading authorities about the value of its assets in order to get favorable loans and tax breaks. Trump denies any wrongdoing and has called the civil probe a witch hunt. An hour after he was seen arriving at the Manhattan office, Trump released a statement criticizing New York Attorney General Letitia James. He wrote that he declined to answer questions under the rights and privileges afforded to every citizen under the US Constitution. Trump was referring to the Fifth Amendment. It's a right which protects people from being witnesses against themselves in a criminal case. And reports say that Trump invoked this right over 440 times. While the Attorney General's investigation is a civil one, a parallel investigation is also being carried out by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which could result in criminal charges. That investigation could be a reason for Trump's legal team advising him to remain silent, as his deposition could energize the criminal case. The deposition follows an FBI search earlier this week at Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida. On Wednesday, the former president once again slammed the FBI raid, saying that it lacked moral and ethical grounds of decency. 4 days since the raid, the FBI and the Justice Department are yet to provide a reason for the search. It's believed that the agents were conducting a court-authorized search related to the potential mishandling of classified documents that had been sent to Mar-a-Lago after Trump left the White House in January 2021. These developments come amid speculation that Trump is planning to run for the White House once again in 2024, but the legal battles against him might just complicate any such bid. Well, for the latest, we're joined by our correspondent Susan Tehrani. She's live for us in New York City. Susan, using his Fifth Amendment rights and remaining silent as he has, something that he's criticised in the past, is there a chance that this could hurt the former president?
You know, it's interesting, Nick, despite the fact that the president has been very vocal and outspoken regarding many of his legal challenges. Many lawyers say that if he did not plead the Fifth, this would have basically hurt him, not only regarding this civil case, but that criminal case investigation that you mentioned as well that's ongoing in parallel to this. So he was advised by counsel to plead the Fifth. It would have been better. And now Letitia James is faced with two options, whether or not to sue Donald Trump, or perhaps Donald Trump and the Trump organization will be left with a hefty fine. But he also mentioned that he understands why people plead the Fifth, because he had been critical of individuals pleading the Fifth before. He had said, if you're innocent, why would you do that? But now he said, I understand why people do that. He blamed it on the fact that he's been attacked left and right, notably from his opponents and also from the mainstream media.
And Susan, what about that FBI raid and the other investigations against him? Could all of this dent his chances of running again for president?
You know, it's interesting, you know how it is, and we've talked about this so many times. Donald Trump really performs best with his back against the wall. But there's a very big chance that he will probably announce his candidacy for presidency sooner than later. He's been really encouraged, notably by the Republican Party, to do that right now at this point. Notably because the Justice Department and the government has been so silent regarding this raid on Mar-a-Lago because of the unprecedented nature of it. Many believe on both sides of the aisle that there should be some sort of transparency on why something like this happened, and if there is probable cause, then the public should know about it because it's on a former president on the one hand, And on the other hand, because it's regarding national archives and it's not something that perhaps should have taken, such a drastic measure against. So on the one hand, it might actually benefit the former president if there was some kind of political motive behind it. However, if there was something criminal and he would be barred from running again, then, that would be another story. But there is so little we know about that raid at this point. We do have an update. Apparently, there was some sort of informant, FBI informant, that informed the Justice Department and FBI that there is some kind of evidence in Mar-a-Lago. And that's the latest that we know, and that's why that raid happened. But again, there's so little that we know that we don't know whether or not there was probable cause or not.
Susan Tehrani, thank you very much for joining us live from New York City.